Well, hello, my name is Jim Royal. I'm a huge Beatles and Elvis Presley fan and basically classic rock in general, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you can do a thumbs up, that's always most appreciated, and feel free to leave comments. I always enjoy reading them and I do my best to try to respond in a timely manner. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a review on Laurence Juber's A Day in My Life. Laurence Juber was the last guitarist to join Wings in their final lineup, and he was with them from 1978 until 1981. So this was recorded at Abbey Road, and he records 12 Beatles songs. That's Abbey Road Studio 2. It was produced by his wife, Hope Juber, and it was recorded August 18th, 2023 by Paul Pritchard at Abbey Road Studio 2. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you a clip of this, but first I want to show you his time with Wings. He worked on their last album. He was on their last album, and this is him right here. This came out in 1979. There he is. He also did the brief UK tour in '79. He worked on the Rupert material, and besides that, they were gearing up for Japan, and you know, the bust that happened with Paul, that ended, and pretty soon after that Wings folded. But before they did, they were actually gearing up to do a new album, and what would have been Tug of War in 1980, which was quite interesting. So I'm going to show you a clip. This is, I went to the Fest for Beatles Fans on Saturday, August 10th, 2024 at Chicago at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, and it was just amazing. I had never attended one of these before. I was really excited to do so. So one of the first things I did when I went there, he just happened to be playing at the Dome, which was considered the Apple Jam. These are all instrumental Beatles songs, and I am going to just show you a brief clip so you get an idea of what I saw and what I heard and what this sounds like. So this is the first thing I see. I automatically take out my camera and I'm like, oh my God, he's doing While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And he's doing such a great job of it. The thing I like about the studio recordings that he did for this album is it's all him. It's one guitar playing the Martin with his guitar strings. It's no overdubs. That's it. Just basic and simple. Music that would be great to be played in the background when you're doing something, or maybe late at night. One of the things that he said that was funny here is he said, you know, in front of Beatle audiences, he says, what I really like about them is you don't have to introduce these songs to them because they already know them, right? Isn't that cool? Anyway, afterwards he had a signing. He had a table where you walk around. He was at the fest all weekend. He later performed in the evening with Steve Hawley, who was the drummer of Wings, the last lineup. He played with them and a bunch of other people. But here he is doing his acoustic solo set. Isn't that cool? Alright, so besides that, I also, I'll show you a picture of him. There we go. So this is him at his signing table. Laurence Juber, formerly of Wings. And then I got to get a picture with him. Isn't that cool? I was very excited by that. I hope trying to focus it so you could see it. Anyway, that was it. So, what's on these songs? What songs are on here that he does? He does 12, he does Blackbird, he does Day Tripper, he does Strawberry Fields Forever, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which you heard, I Am the Walrus, Rain, Rainstorm, And Your Bird Can Sing, Let It Be, A Day in the Life, that was incredible, Across the Universe, Honey Pie, and In My Life. And I liked In My Life. They were all good. So my experience there is I go do the signing, go up to him, you know, for the signing, get an autograph. I'm not sure if he has a CD or not, but I'm figuring there's got to be something there. I knew that he had, you know, he was a session musician before he was with Wings, and he was one afterwards, and he also did a lot of scores, and he's been very busy. So I came up to his table, and there was a woman there that was with him, and she had to step away. I didn't know who she was. It turned out that she was Hope Juber, his wife. He's been married to her since 1982. The funny thing about Hope, I wanted to tell you, is that her father's name is Sherwood Schwartz, and he was a producer for many popular shows here in America that were sitcoms like Gilligan's Island and The Brady Bunch. And in fact, she had an acting part on a few of the Brady episodes. She played Greg Brady's girlfriend. And I remember one episode in particular, maybe you will too, and then you'll know who she is. There was one where Greg was taking his girlfriend out to the drive-in, and for some reason he had to take his kid brother per his parents. He didn't want to do that. So they're at the drive-in, and it looks like it's going to rain. Bobby, the little brother, brings an umbrella, puts the top of the umbrella up, and Greg in the meantime is trying to put the convertible top back down. And unfortunately the umbrella gets caught in there, and you know, you have a problem there. Another scene I remember while watching this, you know, this movie they were at, they had ordered pizza, and Bobby for some reason had a frog with him. I think it was in his hat. The frog got loose and it jumped up on the cheese pizza, so they're sitting there doing this. So anyway, that was Hope, and I did see Hope. I was just kind of shocked. I'm like, oh look. Anyway, this is a picture of her. So let me show you. This is him at Abbey Road. Outside of it, and here he is in that very familiar studio, Studio 2. She produced it, like I said. This is her right here. And then there he is again. So she comes back, but in the meantime he can only accept cash. So he's sitting there with his phone. He has a phone app for a calculator, right? It's so funny. And he's doing it himself. And I'm just like, wow. So then she comes up and she has the Square, you know, which you can use as a payment for credit cards. So then he's able to do credit purchases too. So when it was my turn to see him, I came up to him and I said to him, I said, you know, you're really an amazing guitar player. I was just astonished at how good he was. And I said to him, but I have a question for you. I said, why haven't you played with Paul since you were with Wings? And he looked at me and just nonchalantly, he says, you know, Paul views things that he does as projects. And he says for him, Wings was a project. It was with a particular group of people. Then he goes on to another project and he works with different people. And then he talked about how, you know, Paul eventually had a band. I'm assuming he's referring to the touring band. And he says, you know, he got together with a really good group of people and it worked. So I thought that was a nice way to answer that question. And I didn't want to just ask him just the typical questions, but I wanted to make it known that I thought he was an amazing guitar player. And I just said, you know, what do you have? I said, I really like, you know, what you were playing. And he says, well, I have 3 Beatles CDs here and I have some solo stuff. He says, you know, you pick up the 3 because I was starting to grab the 3. You can get those for $50. So I'm like, okay, cool. And anyway, then he had a book, and this is it, Guitar with Wings, a photographic memoir. I'll talk about this at a later time. But anyway, it was his story before and after the Beatles, and there's a lot of the before and after Wings. There's a lot of emphasis on his time with Wings, with these photographs that he took in many cases. Here's a nice one of Paul. So just really, you know, an insider's look at the band at that time. So I had a really good time there. It was just a lot of fun. I can't say enough about this. I How he got involved with Wings was this. He had been a session musician and he had worked at Abbey Road prior. In 1976, in fact, he had worked on an album, a song. What did he say? He said that it was a chamber orchestra piece for the Alan Parsons project. He played acoustic guitar on that. He had also done some work with George Martin, I think with Cleo Lane at some point. I'm not sure if that was Abbey Road. But when he got the call to join Wings, he was actually at Abbey Road Studio 2 at that time. So they did Back to the Egg, and he says that he hadn't been there since until he decided, you know, he wanted to record this album. How he got involved with Wings was this. Denny Lane, one of the Wings members, was on a show in Britain, and he was doing a song with the backing band. And Laurence at the time happened to be one of the members of that band. So they got along really well. Wings at this time was looking for a new guitarist. Denny talked to Paul and Linda, and he basically called them up and said, hey, how would you like to, you know, come and play with us? So he didn't think that he was auditioning. He played, you know, some old rock and roll numbers, and the rest is history. So anyway, if I was to rate this album on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 10. I think it's that good. It does everything that I would want an instrumental acoustic album for the Beatles or Wings to be. So thank you very much for watching my video, and you have a great day. Bye.